Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through my round 7 team review for AFLW Fantasy, going through how it was a weird week in which I actually had a really good week looking through it here now. Round rank of 348, round score of 1546, which is another a really decent score, 1546 actually. And yeah, so that was really good. And yeah, just got the Marinoff double in with her 1-3-2 against the Bulldogs, which ended up being one of the highest scores that I had. And yeah, got lucky with the forwards doing their bit and only really Priest and Heads going unders, and it looks like both of those will be out of my side when we do the preview on Friday. But anyway, before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and my hair's looking bad again, but I don't really care. So you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So as you can see here, 1546, let's make this a little bit bigger for everyone. There we go, that should be readable now. 1546, a round rank, as I said, 348. Total points just ticked over the 10,000 after 7 rounds. And I believe the leader, if I go over here, because it won't impact anything, the leader is still 747 ahead of me. He jumped another 48, so yeah, jumped a little bit, but not terribly too much. And you can sort of see to the top 10, I even gained ground effectively on the top 10 actually. And you can see here on the top 7 are still gained, I'm pretty sure, a little bit of ground compared to last round. So yeah, just a really good round. And if I look at here, you'll see round 7. Can I go over here? Someone somehow got a 1673, which is absolutely huge, and they're just ahead of me now. A 1671 as well. So let's just look at their sides. They had Thomas, Sheeran, Evans, Walker, Coordinator. Walker did that 38 damage compared to the likes of Priest. And then they had a better midfield, it looks like, yeah, a better midfield, and then Hoare over single, sort of. And Morrison is close. I was close to getting Morrison, but with the news of Parker being out for this season, I think it was Andrew said it in the comments, so shout out to him. Parker's out for the regular season now, so I've got to make that change, so you'll see that in the preview as well. That is a forced change. Might be my first or second forced change of the whole year for women's, which is actually really good. Going on, I know it's only 7 rounds in, but going on 7 rounds, I think that's the only one of the only forced changes that we've had to make, which is really, really good. So if I go back here to round 7, actually now, Priest 30 got chucked in a bad roll, and that bad roll probably is going to continue, so probably going to trade her out. And it looks, and also, so Heads probably holds her spot, I would believe. But we will wait and see if there is a, let me actually just look here, if there is a defender here at the sort of 600-ish, because I want to get Maddie Prasparkas, I think. So you can sort of see my plan. So Maddie Prasparkas is 1.2, and there's no one really below Maddie Prasparkas I necessarily want. So I'm not gonna, Shira didn't really show out last game. So yeah, there would have to be someone around that 600k mark to get. Oh, actually no, that's not true. If I was to go I'd need someone around that, yeah, that 670 or so k range for a defender. Now looking at it, and you could go Darcy, but she's been ultra inconsistent. I don't really like her role too much. Heads is right there anyway. Bresnahan I don't think has played in a while. No, it hasn't played in a while. I could go Sard. I'll probably chuck that around and chuck it out to some people on Twitter, so you'll be able to see that. But we'll see when that happens on Friday. But anyway, so there's a couple of trade options, etc. at the moment going on. But I think I'm probably going to stick to the first one, which will include keeping Heads for another week, but which will suck, but she could easily go well against the Western Bulldogs, as she did go well against Carlton. And we've seen her drop 70s before, which isn't bad. It's just a 48 looks sort of bad. And I'm pretty sure if she had done well in the last quarter, it wouldn't have looked as bad as it does. But anyway, there's that. So yeah, 30, 55 for Carney was a little bit low, but she's so highly owned that it really doesn't matter terribly much. And it's a defender. You're only going to burn, I think, 20 or so points. Like, look at the defenders here. Round points here, you got Thomas, Emonson, Sard, Sansonetti, 80. So she's burning at most to the top ones, to Emonson, who I want to bring in. She's burning, 30 points. And Emonson had a decent game, 22 touches. But I really like Emonson's floor rather than her potential ceiling. I don't necessarily think it's as high as some other ones like Priest, etc. But I think her floor is so high that she doesn't really put in a bad performance. So that's why I probably want to get her in. But I think Carney is sort of that similar. She dropped to 55, which was her lowest for the year by 8 points. And then 6 points on top of that, 69, her other low before the 55 this week. So she has a really... she doesn't necessarily have the big highs that like Thomas and Priest and Heads is sort of similar, and Tiny Evans is in the similar boat as her. If you look at Tiny Evans, you can see 49, then 58, 66, then in the 70s. So Tiny Evans and Carney sort of very similar in the way that they don't necessarily get the huge scores, the tons, but they get pretty good scores each week. McDonald didn't play. She's just, one of my bad picks this year. I wasn't able to get her out, I don't think, because she needed to generate another about 30-40k for me to actually get her out when she was dropped. And then she's just come back and then been dropped again and lost all her cash gen, so she's just sitting on the bench today. So that was probably something I need to look back on next year, is when a rookie gets dropped in the women's, especially, to just drop them out of the side immediately, because the loss in cash gen and the potential for them to come back and play such a limited role is really there. So you just want to get that cash gen and sort of realize the cash gen rather than let it sit. And it's sort of been unrealized in the sense that the 90k got washed a couple rounds later. Marinoff here, 132, absolutely amazing from her. She did her job. 132 was huge. Especially with captaincy on. We'll see who I captain next week. It's probably going to be Gardner, actually, now looking at it, because who was that Western Bulldogs forward? That was in the, if we look at averages, Western Bulldogs. Berry's not playing anymore. She did her ACL, so that's another midfielder down for Western Bulldogs. If we look at their round points here, you'll see, is there any other big midfielders? Pritchard didn't play. I think she might be out as well. Lynch didn't. Lynch, that's a defender. If we get rid of the defenders, there we go. So you had Pritchard, Bennett, Carruthers. I don't know what happened to her. Gorham, Smith. They seem to be running a large amount of midfielders through. So I do think that Gardner will have her fair share, and she doesn't seem to be the one copying the tag at the moment. Don't know why, but I'm happy about that. So Gardner will probably be my... I guess my captain, because McCarthy's here, unless I can do something around McDonald, and then I probably will take a run at the likes of probably Gardner, or I could take a run at Maddie Prasparkas against West Coast if I go down that path, go down the Parker replacement as the VC path. So yeah, you had Gardner and Riddell doing ridiculous things. We talked about that in that small recap video up on the channel. I believe it was I believe that was on Tuesday, was it? Tuesday? Let me just check here. When was that North recap? The North recap was on the 17th, which was yesterday. So yeah, Tuesday. So there's that. So that's good. So then there's that. Whitford 100 was really good. Parker 105, as we talked about with the injury, though, it sort of sucks. So she's out, so got to replace her. And we're just going for someone that can just put points on the board. As simple as that. Not going to go for, I think, the matchups. That's why I'm sort of actually considering Ali Anderson, even though she doesn't have the highest highs. She doesn't have the lowest floor, so I'm really intrigued about that. Strom against St Kilda should be interesting. Her against Wardlaw, but looking forward to that. Karras, I think, is going to go, depending. One trade scenario has Karras going, one trade scenario doesn't have Karras going. So we'll see how that goes, because I would like to see her get some cash gen, so I'm really hoping she can do it. Especially against Carlton, they only have one ruck now with, is it Good or Moody that went down? One of them went down and they were done, they were cooked. So So yeah, Karras should fare better if she's still in the side. Gardner 95, Roberts 99, 64, Malloy 76, and Wardlaw 75. That forward line I just hate the rolls of about half of them. I do not really like the roller single, but she's outputting all right. Her low is a 64, so that's not the worst for a forward. Malloy's output is really just shocking, but it's got to do, I guess, at this point. We sort of could have easily gone for someone different than Malloy, but I mean, she's still 30% owned, and I wouldn't be surprised if she jumps and does something absolutely huge in the coming weeks, as she sort of had a quiet season. And then you have Wardlaw 75. I just don't like her role. This was probably an incorrect pick, but probably an incorrect pick on an incorrect pick on an incorrect, like 3 or 4 rounds straight in a row where I just got my trades sort of dead wrong, and that's the reason why I didn't why Wardlaw sucked. Compared to some other girls, if I could have stayed with Stratton, I probably could have gotten up to like Hoare or someone like that. But anyway, and then on the bench, Brown, Huntington, Karras. And then McCarthy and McDonald, and just hoping some cash down out of these 3 spots, but we'll wait and see about that in the future with what I do, depending on my trades. But anyway, that is the video there, basically, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be my trade targets tomorrow and my and the tips, I guess, and going through how I think I actually didn't lose many ranks. I might have only lost like 4 ranks or something like that. So that's not bad. And also then on Friday you will see my team preview for round 8, and probably also you will see, since the trade period is almost going to be over when this video goes live, you're going to probably see me recap every trade and then sort of give a marker or something out of like 10 or something about how fancy relevant I think those trades are going to be, as there's I think 30 or so guys that are on the move. And so yeah, there's that. But anyway, that's the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks guys. Goodbye.